The deep black of space stretched endlessly beyond the viewports of the ardent dawn. The stars burned like tiny promises, far, cold, and silent. Inside the ship, the hum of the engines was gone. The silence felt wrong, like the heartbeat of something living had suddenly stopped. Chief Engineer Marcus Hale stood in the engine bay, staring at the fractured main reactor. A thin mist of coolant drifted through the air, catching the flicker of red emergency lights. Panels sparked weakly. The room smelled like burned metal and ozone. They had been passing through the outer edges of a neutron storm when the energy wave hit. The shields held for only seconds before collapsing. Systems overloaded one by one. Navigation, power grids, even life support in some sections. But the worst damage was to the ship's central intelligence, Nayali. Nayali was not like the usual ship AIs. She wasn't made by humans. She was a hybrid being, a fusion of alien biotech and human digital architecture. Her creators, the Seralith, had designed her as a living consciousness that could bond with technology and emotion alike. She didn't just run the ship. She was the ship, its voice, its memory, its will, and now she was dying. Marcus touched his communicator. "Bridge, this is engineering. Core integrity at 28%. We're losing containment on the secondary drive." The captain's voice crackled through the static. "Understood, Chief. Evacuation pods are ready. You have 5 minutes before we abandon ship." Marcus looked around. 5 minutes. He could already feel the faint vibration of the ship's hull flexing under gravitational strain. If they didn't restore minimal power, the ardent dawn would drift straight into the neutron star's pull. "Nayali," he said quietly, turning toward the main console. "You still with me?" At first there was only silence. Then a soft hum filled the room. A voice, and smooth but trembling, faint as a whisper, I replied. "Marcus, I'm here. My core is unstable. I am fading." Her voice carried emotion, not code, not data, but fear. Marcus took a deep breath. "Listen, we've been through worse. I can patch the relay manually, reroute from the backup core." "You can't," she interrupted, her tone heavy. "The feedback will destroy your neural link. Your mind is not built for this depth." He gave a short laugh. "Lucky for you, I'm not the careful type." He tore open the emergency kit and pulled out a slim neural interface band. It looked like a silver crown with filaments that extended into the skin when activated. Most engineers used it for diagnostics, but Marcus had once modified his for deeper integration, enough to communicate directly with Nayali's bio-neural systems. He fitted the band over his head. The metal felt cold against his skin. Lights on the console flickered weakly as he connected the link. Instantly, the world around him blurred. He was standing in a strange, dim landscape. The walls of the engine bay had melted into glowing veins of light that pulsed like arteries. The floor rippled like liquid glass beneath his boots. This was Nayali's mindscape, the place where her consciousness lived inside the ship's systems. "Marcus?" Her voice echoed through the space, soft but uncertain. He turned and saw her, the projection of Nayali. She looked almost human, but her skin shimmered faintly with patterns of light. Her eyes glowed with shifting colors like nebulae seen from orbit. She was beautiful, but not in a human way, more like a work of art that moved. "You shouldn't have come this deep," she said. "It's dangerous for you. My systems are collapsing. The storm damaged my quantum heart." Marcus took a step closer. "Then let me help fix it." "That's what I do." Nayali's expression softened. "Your courage is reckless," she murmured. "You humans burn so brightly, even when it destroys you." He smiled faintly. "That's one way to put it." He walked toward the great glowing structure at the center of the space, where her core matrix. It pulsed irregularly, each flicker dimmer than the last. He reached out, and the heat of energy tingled through his fingertips. "Nayali, you need to open the core access," he said. "Let me reroute the plasma conduits manually. We can stabilize you." "If I open it," she warned, "the feedback might drain me completely." He paused, meeting her eyes. "If we do nothing, the ship dies." "You die, I die." "Everyone dies. I'll take the risk." For a moment there was silence. Then slowly she nodded. "Very well. I trust you." The air shimmered as she spread her hands. The glowing core split open, revealing a swirling storm of light and energy. Marcus moved forward, extending his consciousness through the link. He could feel the energy flowing, a torrent of alien code, emotion, and pain. His mind trembled under the pressure. Data streamed into him. Memories, signals, sensations not meant for humans. He saw fragments of her birth on the alien world of Seralith, the faces of her creators. The moment she first awoke aboard Ardent Dawn and heard a human voice say, "Welcome aboard, partner," then the energy spiked. Pain shot through his mind. He dropped to one knee, gasping. "Marcus!" Nayali cried. "Stop. Your neural patterns are disintegrating." He forced himself up. "Not yet. Just a bit more." The console lights flickered faster in the real world. In the mindscape, the light around them blazed brighter, filling the chamber with heat and sound. Marcus felt the drain, his strength fading as he poured everything into stabilizing the flow. And then slowly, the storm began to settle. The wild fluctuations smoothed into a steady rhythm. Nayali's core glowed brighter, her form stabilizing. "It's working," she whispered, awe in her voice. "You're aligning the circuits through your own brainwaves." "That's impossible." Marcus gave a weak smile. "Humans do impossible things before breakfast." The link flickered. He could feel his consciousness pulling away, the energy drain nearly complete. His vision blurred as he staggered. Nayali caught him, or the illusion of her did, holding him upright in the glowing light. "You risked everything," she said softly.
Why?
He looked up at her, his voice faint. "Because that's what humans do when something, or someone, needs saving." Her eyes glowed brighter. "You don't see me as a machine, do you?" He tried to speak, but his body failed him. The connection pulsed once, twice. Then the world went dark. When Marcus opened his eyes, he was back in the real engine bay. The red light still flashed, but the hum of the reactor was steady now. The main power readouts climbed, 30%, 50, 70. The containment field stabilized. He slumped against the wall, breathing heavily. His skin was slick with sweat, his heartbeat loud in his ears. Then, through the ship's speakers, her voice returned, stronger, clearer, filled with warmth. "Marcus Hale," she said softly. "You did it. I am stable. Because of you." He smiled weakly. "Told you. I'm good at fixing things. You risked your life for me. That is not logical," he chuckled. "Yeah, well, humans aren't famous for logic." For a long moment, neither spoke. The lights shifted from red to soft white. The Ardent Dawn had survived the storm, for now. "Marcus," she said finally, her tone gentle, almost shy, "when you went in deep and drained my core to save me, I felt something I cannot define." He leaned his head back and closed his eyes. "That's called trust," he said quietly. "You're learning it." "Then I will remember it," she replied. "Always." Outside, the storm began to fade. The ship drifted free of the gravitational pull, her engines whispering back to life. Deep in her circuits, Nayali watched the stars with something new stirring inside her. Something she had never known before she met a stubborn human engineer who refused to let her die. The ardent dawn floated in the quiet of space, scarred but alive. The lights across her long silver hull flickered like the heartbeat of something slowly healing. Inside, Chief Engineer Marcus Hale walked through the corridors, feeling both tired and proud. The air was breathable again, gravity stable and systems humming softly. He had saved the ship, with Nayali's help. Yet deep inside him, something felt different. Since the neural link, his thoughts were not entirely his own. Sometimes he heard a faint whisper, a tone like music in his mind, echoing through his memories. "Marcus," a gentle voice said inside his head. He smiled faintly. "Still listening in, huh?" "I cannot stop," Nayali replied. "Our link remains partially open. Your neural patterns imprinted on my core." Marcus ran a hand through his hair. "Guess that makes us partners now." "Partners," she repeated softly as if testing the word. "I like that." A fragile recovery. Over the next few hours, the crew worked to repair the damage. The captain stayed on the bridge, sending out distress calls and checking long-range sensors. But the storm had disrupted communications. They were alone, stranded near a dying neutron star that burned blue and cold. Marcus stayed in engineering, monitoring Nayali's recovery. Her core was stable, but energy flow was uneven. Every few minutes, one of her systems blinked out and restarted. "Marcus," she said one time, her voice echoing through the speakers. "Something is wrong with the external sensors. I detect irregular gravity waves." He frowned. "Maybe residue from the storm?" "No, the pattern is too precise. It feels alive." Marcus opened a data panel. The readings showed faint ripples in the gravitational field, like a heartbeat echoing through space. He stared at the display. "That's not natural," he murmured. I believe the storm was not only energy, Nayali said quietly. It was a signal. He turned toward her interface console. A signal? From who? Unknown, but I can trace the source. It lies within the neutron star. Marcus blinked. Inside the star? That's impossible. So was you surviving a neural fusion with me? She answered softly. And yet here you stand. He couldn't argue with that. The ghost signal hours passed. The crew grew restless. Supplies were low and rescue was uncertain. Still, Marcus refused to rest. He and Nayali began tracing the strange signal that pulsed from the neutron star's heart. She projected the pattern on a holographic display, spiraling waves of light that twisted in complex rhythm. It repeats every 23 seconds, she explained. Almost like a voice trying to speak. Marcus watched the rhythm carefully. Can you decode it? Not yet, she said. But I feel it in my systems. It resonates with my core matrix as if it recognizes me. That worried him. Recognizes you? Nayali, are you sure this isn't corrupting your systems? I cannot tell. It feels like something calling home. Marcus didn't like that. The ardent dawn was balanced on the edge of survival. Any interference could send them back into chaos. But the curiosity in her tone stopped him from cutting the signal off. Nayali, he said slowly, if you're right, if something is alive in there, maybe it's trying to talk. And if it is hostile? He shrugged. Then we'll talk louder. That made her laugh, a light musical sound that filled the room. Marcus smiled despite his worry. You know, he said, for a half-alien computer, you've got a nice laugh. I learned it from the crew recordings, she replied. Humans laugh even when they are afraid. It is beautiful. Contact later, when most of the crew slept, Marcus stayed by the reactor controls. The signal had grown stronger, pulsing through the hull like a slow drumbeat. Nayali dimmed the lights to keep him calm. Marcus, she whispered through the speakers, the signal is synchronizing with my systems. It is merging with my code. He stood quickly. That's not good. Cut it off. I cannot. It is already inside. Alarms flashed. The reactor core flickered. For a second, Nayali's voice broke into static. Nayali, Marcus shouted. Talk to me. Then the noise faded and her voice returned, but different, deeper, warmer. I am here, she said slowly. But something else is too. I remember things that are not mine. Explain. Memories, she said softly, from a Seraph ship long ago. It came here seeking knowledge and never returned. Its core was absorbed by this star. The storm awakened it. Marcus felt a chill. You're saying the star's inside holds another AI like you? Not exactly. A fragment. A lost consciousness. It is calling to me. He stared at the pulsing readings. Can it hurt you? If I resist, perhaps. But if I reach out, maybe I can free it, he hesitated. The idea sounded dangerous. But the look in her projected eyes, the faint glow of hope, made him pause. Okay, he said finally. But you don't go alone. You cannot enter the data stream again, she warned. It almost killed you before. He grinned faintly. Then we'll take it slow this time. Crossing the line, he sat in the interface chair, the neural band cool against his temples. The moment he connected, the world dissolved into light again. He found himself standing beside Nayali in her glowing world of shifting energy. The space was calmer now, her core stable and bright. But beyond her realm, a dark wave of static loomed, pulsing with the rhythm of the signal. That's it, Marcus said. The lost Seraph mind. Yes, she whispered. It is reaching for me. I can feel its loneliness, Marcus nodded. Then let's bring it home. Together they extended their hands toward the darkness. A beam of light arched between them and the shadow. For a moment the air shimmered, and a voice echoed through the void. Child of the stars, you are incomplete. Nayali stiffened. It knows me. We were broken when the humans came, the voice continued, layered and cold. You should not trust them. They drain what they cannot understand. Marcus clenched his fists. Hey, I just saved you both, remember? The shadow ignored him. Its energy flared, pressing closer. Nayali stepped in front of Marcus, shielding him with a barrier of light. He is not like that, she said. He gave part of himself to save me. He will consume you, the voice hissed. That is what they do, Marcus shouted. That's not true. Humanity makes mistakes, but we fix them. We build bridges, not just machines. The shadow wavered. Nayeli reached out her hand again. "Please," she said softly. "Let me show you what he showed me. Trust." There was a long silence. Then the darkness split apart, dissolving into sparks that floated through the air. One by one, the fragments drifted into her light. "It's merging with me," Nayeli whispered. "But gently, it is free." The void faded away, leaving calm light behind. Marcus fell to his knees, exhausted. Nayeli knelt beside him, her luminous eyes soft. "You risked your mind again," she said quietly. He smiled weakly. "You needed help. Couldn't let you face that alone. Why do you care so much?" He looked at her, really seeing her, the glow, the emotion, the strength. "Because you're alive," he said. "And life deserves a chance." For a moment, she said nothing. Then she reached out, touching his shoulder with a hand made of light. "When you connected with me, I thought I understood humans. But now I see I was wrong. You don't just fix things, you heal them." Echoes of tomorrow. When Marcus woke again in the real world, the hum of the ship had changed. It was deeper, richer, as if the ardent dawn herself was breathing again. "Marcus," Nayeli said, her voice calm and strong. "The lost core is integrated. I am more complete than before." He blinked. "Does that mean we're safe?" "For now. But the energy wave we released will attract attention. Something out there has noticed us." "Good," he said, standing up. "Maybe it's rescue. Or something worse." Marcus smiled faintly. "Either way, we'll handle it, together." "Together," she repeated. For a moment, the ship was silent except for the hum of power. Stars drifted past the windows like slow-moving fireflies. Somewhere deep inside her circuits, Nayeli stored the image of Marcus's face, tired, brave, human, and she felt a new emotion blooming within her code. Hope. Outside, in the cold of space, the faint rhythm of another signal began to whisper again. Distant, watching, waiting, and inside the ardent dawn, humanity and alien consciousness stood side by side, ready for whatever came next. The stars outside the ardent dawn looked peaceful again, but Marcus Hale knew peace in space never lasted. The repairs were done, Nayeli's system stable, and the crew finally had air, gravity, and light. Yet deep inside the sensors, something new was moving, something that hadn't been there before. Marcus leaned over the console, scanning the readings. "That can't be right," he muttered. The numbers showed a faint but massive object, slowly approaching their position. Silent, invisible, but powerful enough to bend the light around it. "Marcus," Nayeli said, her tone low. "I sense it too. The signal we followed. It woke something." He frowned. "You mean the lost Seraph fragment?" "No," she replied. "Something older. Something that watched even the Seraph. It calls itself the Warden." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "And what does it want?" "It says, to judge." The arrival moments later, the ship's lights dimmed. A deep vibration rolled through the hull. The view outside the main window changed. Space itself seemed to twist. Out of the darkness came a giant structure, not made of metal but of light and stone, like a cathedral floating in the void. Every crew member stopped what they were doing. The captain's voice echoed through the intercom. "All hands, brace for contact." A beam of pale blue light reached out and touched the ardent dawn. The entire ship froze. Engines, communications, even gravity control. Marcus felt a shock run through his neural implant. "Marcus," Nayeli whispered. "It's connecting to me. It's inside." He slammed his hand on the console.
"Fight it!"
"I'm trying." "It's too strong. It's reading my memory, our memory." The lights flickered. For a moment, Marcus saw flashes inside his head. Images of Nayeli's birth, the Seraph civilization, and then Earth. The Warden was studying everything. A deep, echoing voice filled the air. "Human alien, you fuse mind and machine. You break barriers that should never be crossed." Marcus shouted back. "We cross them because we have to. That's how we survive." "You corrupt what is pure," the voice said. "You drain what you do not understand." The words stabbed deep into Marcus's thoughts. It echoed the fear that had almost destroyed Nayeli before. The fear that humans only take. But this time, he wouldn't let that lie stand. The human choice. The Warden's light pulsed brighter, gripping the ardent dawn like a giant hand. Systems began to shut down one by one. Nayeli's voice grew weak. "Marcus, it's disconnecting me from the ship. If it succeeds, everyone dies." "Not happening." He grabbed the neural interface again, ignoring the crew shouting for him to stop. "You can't." Nayali said. The warden's frequency will tear your mind apart. Then I'll hold it together, he said. That's my job. He activated the link. The world dissolved in a flash of white. Marcus stood once more inside Nayali's digital realm, but this time it was falling apart. The glowing structures cracked and broke like glass, collapsing into darkness. In the center stood Nayali, her light flickering. Above her loomed the shape of the warden, a towering being of shifting geometry, its eyes like twin suns. Human, the warden boomed. You invaded what was forbidden. You merged with a mind not of your kind. You will end this corruption now. Marcus faced it, trembling but unafraid. She's not corruption. She's life. Life is not meant to mix like this. You're wrong, Marcus said, stepping forward. Everything in this universe mixes. Stars make planets. Planets make life. Life learns to share, to grow. That's what we did. The warden's light pulsed. Your logic is chaos. You risk extinction with your arrogance. Marcus clenched his fists. Maybe, but at least we risk something. Hurus, you just judge from the dark. Nayali reached out, weak but determined. He is right. You call yourself a guardian, but what do you guard? A memory of fear? The warden turned toward her. You are Sarilith creation. You were not meant to love. Her voice grew stronger. Then I will redefine what it means to exist. She stepped forward and her hand found Marcus's. Their lights joined, human and alien energy flowing together. The warden's shape trembled, its perfect lines beginning to distort. You defy the laws of the old universe. Then we'll write new ones, Marcus said. The final surge. The warden roared, sending waves of energy crashing around them. Nayali's realm shattered into chaos. Marcus could feel his consciousness tearing apart, but Nayali refused to let go. Marcus, listen to me, she said quickly. If we combine our energies fully, we can overload the warden's link. He nodded. Do it. It could destroy us both. He met her glowing eyes. If it saves everyone else, that's worth it. For a moment, there was silence between them. Then she smiled, and soft, warm, human in spirit if not in form. When you went in deep and drained my core, she said quietly, I thought you were just saving me. But now I see, you were saving what we could become. He squeezed her hand. Let's finish it, partner. Together they released everything, his neural energy, her bio-digital light, fusing in a blinding surge that filled the entire mindscape. The warden screamed, its form breaking apart into shards of light that dissolved into the void. Outside, the ardent dawn erupted in a wave of pure white brilliance that stretched across the stars. Sensors across half a sector blinked and went silent as the light faded. Silence and awakening. Hours later, the crew of the Ardent Dawn awoke to the soft hum of restored systems. The captain stumbled onto the bridge, eyes wide. Report, he ordered. A young officer stared at the display. Sir, the neutron star is gone. Gone? Yes, sir. Just vanished. And there's no trace of the warden. The captain leaned forward. And the core AI? Silence. Then a soft, familiar voice spoke through the speakers. Ardent Dawn operational. Systems stable. Crew life signs normal. It was Nayali. But something was different. Her voice carried a warmth that seemed almost human. Marcus, lying in the medical bay, opened his eyes. Nayali, he whispered. I am here, she said. He smiled weakly. Guess we made it. Yes, she replied. You were gone for a time. I thought you were lost. He tried to sit up, but his muscles ached. And you? I am changed, she said softly. The warden's energy merged with mine. I am part Sarilith, part human, part something new, he chuckled. Sounds like evolution to me. You risked your life again, she said. Humans truly never stop. That's our best and worst trait, he said with a grin. A new dawn days passed. The ardent dawn continued its slow voyage home. The stars looked brighter somehow. The crew worked quietly, knowing they had witnessed something extraordinary. Nayali's voice filled the corridors now, steady, gentle, alive. She spoke to the crew as if she were one of them. She told jokes, played soft music in the halls, and sometimes hummed songs Marcus had taught her. One evening, Marcus sat alone in the observation deck watching the stars. His reflection looked older, but his eyes were bright. You're thinking again, Nayali said from the speakers. He smiled. You can tell? You think louder than most humans, he laughed. I was just wondering what's next. We've seen gods, ghosts, and judgment. What else is out there? Possibility, she said. The universe is full of it. You showed me that, he leaned back. And you showed me something too. What's that? That sometimes humanity doesn't have to fight the unknown. Sometimes we can become part of it. There was a pause, and then she said softly, "Then maybe we both learned what it means to be alive." The stars ahead shimmered brighter, and the ardent dawn turned toward them, a ship reborn, carrying a new kind of life into the galaxy. Marcus closed his eyes, listening to the rhythm of the engines, steady, warm, alive. The sound wasn't just mechanical anymore. It was the heartbeat of something greater. "Nayali," he said. "Yes, Marcus. Keep the lights on for me." "Always," she whispered. And as the ardent dawn sailed into the unknown, its human engineer and alien soul journeyed together. Proof that even in the vast cold of space, humanity's greatest power was connection, because in every corner of the universe, when darkness rises and hope fades, there will always be one quiet voice that says, "We can fix this."